Hello, everybody. We are back again. Paul Waller here with Christian Sports Medicine Alliance. And I want to thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Medicine with a Mission, Faith, Family, and the Profession Zoomcast. As we are continuing our celebration of National Athletic Training Month, and we are featuring a Christian athletic trainer every single day of the month of March. And today is a legend in the profession of athletic training in the state of Texas.
Stop.
Oh, he's just a great guy. I mean, every time I get to be around him, he's such a he's interesting. I'll just put you that way. Red, how's it going, my friend?
Man, it's going really good. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we were just talking offline about you got a new gig going on, which is
yes, sir.
It's it is. I mean, but it's a good it's an easy transition for what you were doing. So what were you doing? Where were you at? And then now.
I've been in the training room for 30 years as a professional, and the last 22 here in Kilgore, Texas at the high school. And opportunity opened up for me to jump in as a sports medicine salesperson for Alert Services, who is one of the groups that has always benefited me in my career. They're the people that have always taken care of me when I needed supplies and took care of me. And so, the opportunity to go give back to them for everything that they've done for me in my career was a no-brainer. And the opportunity to step out and retire from the school system and continue to give back to the profession is something that has even surprised me as I've jumped into it. Yeah. The opportunity to, where I was working on kids and taking care of them and mentoring them, now I'm actually getting to help professionals, obviously helping them get their supplies that they need, but also as a resource and somebody that they can bounce stuff off of. It's really kind of neat that I'm getting to do that.
So what you're saying is that now you're having adult conversations.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Surprisingly, and I can keep them up. It's impressive.
Yes, you can. You could have it.
Who'd have thought?
So that leads me into the question is, you 30 years, 22 at Kilgore, and that was 8 in Midland?
Odessa High.
Yeah, we don't want to get those two mixed up.
No, sir.
So 30 years in all, you've been in the athletic training room, and now you make this transition with Alert Services, which is based in Texas and based in San Marcos. Family owned. It's been one of the foundations of sports medicine supplies for athletic trainers across the country for years. I'm probably going to not step out on a limb, but prayer going into it and knowing that you were fixing to make this transition, prayer with your wife and your kids, and even Latama, which was your assistant at Kilgore. I mean, I imagine you and her sat down and y'all really shared with each other and talked it over. And how much of your faith in Christ, how much of a role would that play in this transition? Because it's a big transition. I mean, you're going from one setting to the other.
Oh, I jumped completely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I got out of my box. I'm not a salesperson. I've never been a salesperson. And then to jump into this, I still don't consider myself a salesman. The stuff sells itself. It's just me being a facilitator for it. And it's nice that I have a familiarity with it, but you're exactly right. I said all along when I hit the opportunity to retire that when my next step was coming, the good Lord had provided and put it in front of me. And through the years, I've had dialogue with Alert and some other companies about possibly jumping in with them. And prior to, it wasn't the right time. You knew it wasn't the right time. It didn't feel like the right time. And when I got contacted by Alert, here this summer, I told him that immediately wasn't the right time, but it did feel like the right thing for me to do. There's that peace you get when it's the right thing, that it's God led and it's God provided. And I've always kind of felt that this was probably my next step, just with my familiarity with the company and the family, like you said, you know, they've always felt like, family to me. And so I kind of knew that this was probably going to be the route that I'd go. And so when the opportunity came, it was a matter of me going, God, if this is where you want me to be, then everything's going to fall into place. And I told them folks over there that, late July when they called, I said, I'm not leaving now. It's not going to happen. He says, we're not ready to fill now. There was too many unknowns at the time. We were just opening up, and schools were just trying to get back started again, and sports were just trying to get back started again. And so we didn't know if there was even going to be a place. And I said, I wouldn't leave what I'm doing. I wouldn't leave people in a lurch just to satisfy something for me. And actually, it worked out better because it gave me an opportunity to feel it out and put myself in a better stand with them and with my family, and make sure that everything would fall into place like it's supposed to. And, and I learned a long time ago that that's the way it works. It's not me. I'm never been one to just jump in somewhere blind because I get scared to death that that's not going to be the right deal. But when you feel peace and you know that it's the right thing and everything clicks, everything falls into place, you can't deny that. And so the timing has all worked out perfectly, which it does when the Lord's hand's in it. And so it was the right thing at the right time in the right place. And nobody really gave me a bad feeling about that. There was sketchiness. It's funny because my mother, she was worried, oh, you're fixing to get out of something that's steady and secure and jump into this. And I kept telling her, it feels right. It feels right. It's just, and mom was deep into prayer, and she called me one day and she says, does it really feel right? And I said, yes, ma'am. I don't have a bit of anxiety. I mean, it's all peaceful. She says, well, my Bible study this morning said, something to the effect that, my peace is enough. If you feel the peace, then you're in the right place. And she says, is that what you feel? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she says, then I'm done worrying about it. That's God telling me to quit being a thorn in your side on this and to just trust. And I said, thank you, because I appreciate that, and that's the same deal. My wife had concerns too, but, also she prayed along with me. She says, if you feel right about it, then it's the right thing to do. Let's go with it. And like I said, the peace has always been there. It never in a moment had I felt that this ain't necessarily the right thing to do.
So going back into like your 22 years at Kilgore and 8 in Odessa, 30 years, that's a long time. Did you ever, because you're a relation guy. I mean, your whole life is based on relationships. I mean, you have there's no reservation about you're very easy to talk to. Anybody that ever meets you at one of our meetings, very extremely approachable, very easy to talk to. Have you seen your faith being played out, I guess, in the workplace when you were in the athletic training with your athletes?
Sure. I mean, I've always thought this was my calling anyway.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back. If I go back and look at my life, this goes back to when I was in the 6th grade. That was my first exposure
Yep.
to athletic training, and I didn't realize it. And then, it steadily progressed. I decided that student training was what I was going to do in high school, and I carried that on, and so it's my platform. It's always been my platform to, and people know where I stand. I mean, I may be approachable, but there's no confusion about what I think.
No.
I mean, there's no sense in bullcorning about it. I'm going to tell you up front where I stand, and you like it, you don't like it. That's on you. It's not on me. But I know who holds my future, and I know whose hand I'm riding in. And there's too much evidence to think that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do and impacting the people that I'm supposed to impact through my life. And it all really came to fruition when it came out that I was leaving, last November, when it finally hit out that I was stepping out of the high school setting and fixing to leave, and the outpouring of congratulations and appreciations, and hey, you're leaving us, man. You're not right, because I wanted my kids to be taken care of by you, because I knew that you would do that. And that's got to be a God thing,
Oh, yeah.
that I was where God wanted me to be, but I also knew it was time to walk away and do something new.
Sure. Well, Red, before we close out, what would be, and you probably have several, but what would be that Bible verse that you would say has been the foundation of your life? Or maybe, especially in this transition that you're going through, what would that verse be that you clung to?
Oh, you're right. There's multiple ones, but I knew that a verse would be asked of me. I just felt it. I just knew that there was one, and it was hit with me. It popped up in my head yesterday, and it's 2 Timothy 1:7. You're not given a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power and love and wisdom. And that when I first heard it, you read it and you experience it. I've read through the Bible multiple times, but and every time you read a verse, it speaks to you differently every single time. But when I read that one, I guess about 5 years ago, I was at a point where life was just rolling, and there was a transition period in the world where, things were just Christianity was kind of hush hush, just, don't speak it. Don't come out. Don't be boisterous. We just need to be tolerant and all of that. And I read that verse, and it spoke to me and said, I didn't give you a spirit of fear, and I didn't give you a spirit of timidity. I don't want you to be weak. I want you to be bold and strong and stand up. I want you to, love people, and I want you to be, I want you to be a force to be dealt with, and I want you to be smart about it. And the classic example is Jesus. And if you think about that verse in relation to Jesus, here's a guy who spoke out the truth. Here's a guy who told the people what they didn't want to hear, but they thought they were looking for. And he wasn't out there. I mean, his speech was powerful, but not loud, not just gangbusters, not explosion bomb like, but he spoke to everybody in love. The wife that was near getting stoned, and he stopped at, how powerful is that situation right there, where he just kind of doodled in the ground and, made a simple statement, And you don't think it's very powerful, but in looking back, good gosh, that was amazingly powerful. And the love that he showed her and how wise he was, because he could have blown up and gotten just out. I would have, the normal human, oh, we'd have gone ape nuts. Y'all are stupid. Don't do it. No. It was powerful, it was in love, and it was wise. And classic example right there. I mean, and that all came, like I say, I knew this was coming out. This was going to be asked of me, and you didn't even tell me that you're going to do this, but I just knew it was coming. I knew I needed to say that we as Christians don't need to be silent.
No, you're right.
It's not shameful to pray.
Mhm.
It's not shameful to tell someone that God's got you. That I believe what I believe in and where I stand and who carries me, who gives me the strength to do what I do. And and what I think is important, because of what I get from him.
Mm.
And so that's the verse that speaks to me. I'm not weak and I'm not timid. And love me or not, that's on you. It's not on me. But there wasn't a soul that walked into my training room that I didn't care about.
Right.
Even if they irritated me to no end, I still loved them enough that I wanted to take care of them, and I wasn't going to back down on the things that I thought were important. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I think the good Lord kind of gave me the wisdom to do the things that I needed to do when I needed to do them.
Absolutely. Well, Red, as always, man, thank you so much. Good seeing you.
Great to see you.
It's been like almost 2 years since we didn't see
Yeah.
each other last year. Hopefully we'll have a virtual, in-person meeting in Little Rock this year.
Not going to happen. Got that
Okay.
email this morning.
Ugh,
They're going virtual.
again. Okay. Well, there you go, world. No SWAT again this year.
Yep.
I was really looking forward to going to Little Rock.
Oh, I was too. I mean, it was a good time the last time we were there.
Yes.
And I was looking forward to another one because those folks in Arkansas did a heck of a job the last time.
Yes,
and I know they would have done it again.
Yes. I mean, you're no doubt about it. But we'll see each other in person one of these days.
Yes, sir.
I'm in your territory, kind of, sort of. So
Yeah.
when you're over here, we'll do lunch. But if you want to know anything about, if you want to know more about Christian Sports Medicine Alliance, please go to our website at christiansportsmed.org. You can also follow us on Twitter at tweetcsma. And if you are a Christian athletic trainer, or you know a Christian athletic trainer that would like to have a place where they can go and just do life, share what God is doing in their life, share their favorite verse, share devotional, share whatever. And they're on Facebook. Go to Beyond the ATR. It is our Facebook page. We have well over 2,000 athletic trainers on there. It's specifically for athletic trainers to do life and share their faith. So until next time, thank you again for joining us for Medicine with a Mission, Faith, Family, and the Profession Zoomcast. Red, thank you as always. Great seeing you, my friend.
Appreciate you, brother.
We will talk to you later down the road.
Yes, sir.